Have you ever woken up in the morning after the age of 60 and felt your legs unusually heavy? You step out of bed, but your legs don't respond the way they used to, forcing you to hold onto a chair or the wall just to stand safely. It often takes a few minutes of walking before the heaviness eases, leaving you confused and concerned about what is happening inside your body. This is not something you should ignore. Morning leg heaviness can be an early warning sign of declining circulation, unstable blood sugar, or weakening muscle-nerve coordination. Over time, if left unaddressed, it can increase the risk of falls, joint strain, and long-term loss of independence. If you experience this regularly, type 1. If you haven't noticed it yet but want to prevent it before it starts, type 0. Right after waking up in the morning, leg muscles in adults over 60 are often at their weakest point of the entire day. The first and most important reason is a phenomenon known as temporary muscle loss after a long night of sleep. After the age of 60, muscle mass is no longer maintained as steadily as it was in younger years. During sleep lasting 6 to 8 hours, the body remains almost completely inactive. The muscles responsible for standing, balance, and stability, especially the soleus muscle in the calf, the larger calf muscles, and the glute muscles in the hips, stay inactive for too long. In younger adults, muscles can regain strength quickly as soon as they wake up. However, in people over 60, this recovery process becomes noticeably slower. Muscles need time to reactivate and reconnect with the nervous system. If you stand up immediately after opening your eyes, your muscles are not yet ready to produce enough force. That is why, when your feet first touch the floor, you may feel heaviness in your legs, unsteady steps, or a sense that your strength is simply gone. This does not mean your muscles have disappeared overnight. It means your muscles have not been properly awakened, and forcing them to work too soon can increase strain, instability, and the risk of falls. After understanding that leg muscles in adults over 60 are essentially asleep after a long night, we need to look deeper at a quieter but critically important cause: the body's reduced ability to absorb and use protein with age. Protein is the primary building material that muscles rely on to maintain strength and recover after rest. In younger adults, normal daily meals are usually enough to send clear signals for muscle repair and rebuilding. But after the age of 60, the body responds much less effectively to the same amount of protein. This condition is known as anabolic resistance, meaning the muscles no longer respond properly to muscle-building signals. Throughout the night, the body receives no nutritional intake. Leg muscles, already more vulnerable due to aging, remain in a prolonged low-fuel state. When you wake up, even if you try to stand or walk, your muscles simply do not have enough available building blocks to generate strong, stable force. This explains why many people over 60 feel the worst leg weakness in the morning, yet gradually feel better after breakfast or after moving around for a while. It is not because the legs suddenly become stronger. It is because the muscles are finally receiving nutrients and recovery signals again. If this issue is ignored over time, repeated morning weakness can accelerate muscle loss, reduce balance, and quietly increase the risk of falls and long-term mobility decline. Another major reason leg weakness is most noticeable in the morning for adults over 60 is unstable blood sugar after waking up. After a long night without food, blood glucose levels can drop too low or fluctuate sharply. In older adults, the body's ability to self-regulate blood sugar is slower and less efficient. As a result, muscles do not receive enough immediate energy to contract properly. During the first movements of the day, this can cause leg weakness, mild trembling, or an unsteady walking sensation. Once you eat breakfast or perform light movement, blood sugar levels gradually stabilize, and the feeling of leg weakness often improves. This is a clear sign that the problem is not simply aging, but delayed energy delivery to the muscles. If morning blood sugar instability happens repeatedly, it can strain the nervous system, worsen balance, and increase the risk of sudden dizziness or falls. Alongside blood sugar, morning blood circulation plays a critical role. After lying down for many hours, blood has not yet fully redistributed to the legs when you stand up. In adults over 60, circulatory reflexes respond more slowly. This temporary delay means the leg muscles may not receive enough oxygen and nutrients right away. As a result, you may feel heavy legs, take unstable steps, or need to stand still for a few seconds before feeling steady. When you begin walking gently, circulation improves, oxygen delivery increases, and these symptoms gradually fade. However, if this pattern is ignored over time, slow morning circulation can contribute to chronic leg fatigue, reduced endurance, and a higher risk of falls. Another important reason for morning leg weakness in adults over 60 is the gradual decline in communication between the brain and the muscles. With aging, nerve signal transmission becomes slower, especially after a long night of sleep. When you stand up early in the morning, your brain may already be sending movement commands, but your leg muscles do not respond fully or quickly enough. This mismatch leads to unsteady steps, delayed reflexes, and the common feeling that your legs are not listening during the first few minutes of the day. As you begin gentle walking or perform a few simple movements, the nerve-muscle connection gradually reactivates. The brain and muscles start working in sync again, and the sensation of weakness fades. This is a temporary functional issue, not permanent muscle damage, but ignoring it can increase fall risk during those vulnerable morning moments. Morning leg weakness in adults over 60 is not caused by a single problem. It is the result of multiple mechanisms happening at the same time. After a long night of sleep, leg muscles are temporarily inactive, protein absorption is less efficient, blood sugar levels are still fluctuating, and circulation has not yet adapted to an upright position. At the same time, the nerve muscle system needs extra time to resynchronize. When these factors overlap, leg weakness becomes most noticeable during the first minutes after waking. This is why symptoms often improve after light movement or breakfast. Understanding this full picture is critical. It helps reduce unnecessary fear while making it clear that morning habits matter deeply after 60. With the right adjustments early in the day, you can protect balance, reduce fall risk, and preserve long-term mobility and independence. One of the most common morning symptoms in adults over 60 is a heavy feeling in the legs the moment your feet touch the floor. Your legs may feel slow, stiff, and noticeably less responsive than they do later in the day. This happens because the muscles responsible for balance, especially the soleus muscle in the calf, have not yet been activated after a long night of sleep. At the same time, blood circulation has not fully reached the legs, leaving the muscles temporarily low on energy and oxygen. This is not joint or bone damage. It is a normal physiological response when the body has not yet adapted to an upright position. However, ignoring this heaviness and forcing movement too quickly can increase joint strain and raise the risk of sudden imbalance. After the initial heaviness, many adults over 60 notice mild trembling or weakness in the calves when standing still during the first moments of the day. This occurs when muscle fibers and nerve signals are not yet working in sync, combined with unstable morning blood sugar levels. You may feel your calves fatigue quickly, shake slightly, or require frequent posture adjustments just to maintain balance. This is an early warning sign. It signals that your muscle and nervous systems need gentle activation before walking. If this phase is skipped, the risk of morning instability, missteps, and falls increases significantly, especially in the bathroom, kitchen, or near stairs. When the calves are still trembling and standing strength has not fully returned, many adults over 60 experience unsteadiness during the first 1 to 3 minutes after waking. This is the most vulnerable period for balance loss during the entire day. During these first 1 to 3 minutes, muscles and circulation are still adjusting to an upright position, while signals traveling from the brain to the legs are not yet fully synchronized. As a result, steps may feel unstable, reactions are slower, and walking too quickly can be dangerous. This is not permanent weakness. It is a normal physiological response after a long night of sleep. However, Rushing movement during this window significantly increases the risk of slips and falls, especially near beds, bathrooms, or stairs. After gentle walking or eating breakfast, many adults over 60 notice their legs becoming steadier and more responsive. As blood circulation improves and blood sugar stabilizes, muscles begin producing force more effectively. The sensations of heavy legs, trembling, or unsteadiness often decrease noticeably within a short time. This is a critical clue. Morning leg weakness is not inevitable. It is a condition that can improve when the underlying causes are understood and morning habits are adjusted correctly. Ignoring these signals, however, can allow temporary morning weakness to evolve into chronic instability, increasing fall risk and accelerating loss of mobility over time. Even after recognizing that morning leg weakness often improves within a few minutes, one very common mistake among adults over 60 is standing up too quickly immediately after opening their eyes. Many people instinctively jump out of bed to go to the bathroom. When you stand up suddenly in the morning while your muscles are still inactive, blood circulation is slow, and nerve-muscle coordination has not fully synchronized, your legs are simply not prepared to support your balance safely. At this moment, the body has not yet adjusted to an upright position, which sharply increases the risk of lightheadedness, unstable steps, and unexpected falls during the most vulnerable minutes of the day. For older adults, even a single morning fall can have serious consequences. Recovery may take weeks or months. Confidence in walking often decreases, and fear of falling can lead to reduced movement and long-term mobility decline. This habit may seem small or harmless, but over time it can quietly threaten both safety and independence. Another frequent mistake in adults over 60 is skipping muscle activation before getting out of bed. After a long night of sleep, the leg muscles, especially the calves and glute muscles, remain in a resting state and are not yet ready to bear full body weight. Without gentle activation, the legs struggle to respond quickly and steadily when you begin to stand or walk. If you stand and start walking immediately, these muscles cannot generate enough force to stabilize your body. This is why legs may tremble, feel weak, or cause unstable steps in the morning. The danger is not weakness itself, but moving before your muscles are ready. Just a few simple activation movements before standing can dramatically reduce this risk. Ignoring this step repeatedly can strain joints, stress the nervous system, and significantly increase the chance of falls over time, a risk that becomes more serious with each passing year after 60. One mistake that makes morning leg weakness last longer in adults over 60 is skipping breakfast or eating the wrong kind of breakfast. Many people only drink water or coffee, which leaves the body in an energy-deficient state after a long night without food. When breakfast is skipped or poorly balanced, blood sugar continues to fluctuate, and leg muscles struggle to maintain stable force. This causes weakness or trembling to persist longer into the morning. A breakfast that is too low in protein or too high in sugar can both worsen the problem. Eating the right amount, with proper balance, helps the legs regain stability much faster and reduces morning risk. Ignoring breakfast repeatedly places extra stress on muscles, nerves, and balance control, increasing fatigue and fall risk over time. Many adults over 60 believe that morning leg weakness is simply a normal part of aging and cannot be improved. This mindset is dangerous because it leads people to ignore early warning signs and avoid making necessary habit changes. In reality, morning leg weakness is not a permanent sentence. When the underlying causes are understood and addressed early, leg strength, balance, and confidence can improve significantly. Taking action protects independence, reduces fall risk, and supports long-term mobility, which is critical for maintaining quality of life as you age. After identifying the most common morning mistakes, the next step is to quickly check how weak your legs are right after waking up in the morning. This simple 5 to 10 second test is designed specifically for adults over 60, with safety and ease in mind. It requires no equipment, no special training, and can be done calmly right at your bedside. The purpose of this test is not to compare yourself with anyone else or to judge your physical ability. It is meant to help you recognize how well your muscles are activating and how stable your balance is during the first moments of the day. When you clearly understand your current morning condition, it becomes much easier to adjust your movements correctly and reduce the risk of falls during the most dangerous minutes after waking. Ignoring this brief self-check means missing early warning signs that often appear long before serious balance problems develop. Perform this test immediately after waking, before leaving the bed. Sit at the edge of the bed with both feet flat on the floor and your posture upright. Slowly lift your heels and lower them again in a controlled manner for 5 to 10 seconds. Notice whether both legs feel equally strong, whether your calves tremble, or whether you feel any unsteadiness. This quick test helps you decide whether your legs are ready to stand or need gentle activation first. This test is not for diagnosis, but it helps you assess how safe and stable your legs are each morning. If you can raise your heels evenly without shaking or support, activation is adequate. If you notice trembling, weakness on one side, or imbalance, move slowly and activate your muscles before walking. Paying attention to these signals helps reduce fall risk and protects your independence. Once you understand your morning leg condition, begin by activating the ankles and the soleus muscle, which support balance and standing stability. While sitting on the bed, place both feet flat on the floor. Lift and lower your toes 10 to 15 times, then rotate each ankle in small circles 5 times. Within 20 to 30 seconds, circulation improves, stiffness decreases, and the legs are better prepared to bear weight, reducing early morning unsteadiness. After activating the ankles, wake up the glute muscles to support pelvic stability. While sitting, place both feet firmly on the floor and gently tighten the glutes for 2 to 3 seconds, then relax. Repeat 8 to 10 times. This simple activation improves brain-muscle coordination, reduces strain on the calves, and helps you stand and walk more steadily in the morning. Once your muscles are ready, standing up correctly is essential. Morning is the highest risk time for falls if movements are rushed. Sit at the edge of the bed for a few seconds with both feet on the floor. Lean slightly forward and stand up slowly over 3 to 5 seconds. After standing, pause for one full breath before stepping. This allows circulation and the nervous system to adjust, reducing dizziness and unsteadiness. After standing, controlled breathing plays an important role in activating circulation. While standing still, inhale slowly through your nose for 3 to 4 seconds, allowing your chest and abdomen to expand. Then exhale gently through your mouth for 4 to 5 seconds. Repeat this calm breathing pattern 2 to 3 times without rushing. These slow breaths help the heart pump more efficiently, guide blood down to the legs, and calm the nervous system after sleep. As circulation improves, the legs feel steadier, and the risk of dizziness or unsteady steps before moving is reduced. Once the body is activated, eating the right breakfast helps maintain leg strength throughout the morning. For adults over 60, breakfast does not need to be large, but it must be balanced and consistent. Never skip breakfast. After a long night, muscles and the nervous system need fuel to remain stable. Skipping breakfast causes blood sugar swings that can prolong leg weakness and fatigue. Include a moderate amount of easily absorbed protein. Simple, familiar foods support muscle function and stabilize blood sugar. Choosing the right protein matters more than eating more. Eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, low-fat milk, and small fish like sardines provide high-quality protein, leucine, and omega-3, which support muscle maintenance and nerve-muscle communication. An easy-to-digest breakfast helps keep legs steady and reliable through the entire morning. In addition to protein, certain foods help legs function more steadily by supporting the nervous system and circulation. Magnesium-rich foods such as oats, beans, and leafy greens help muscles contract and relax smoothly. When magnesium levels are low, muscles fatigue faster, tremble more easily, and respond more slowly in the morning. Bananas provide potassium, which plays an important role in nerve signal transmission and helps muscles respond more accurately when you stand and walk. Olive oil and fatty fish supply healthy fats that improve blood flow and reduce low-grade inflammation that often builds up with age. Better circulation means oxygen and nutrients reach the leg muscles more efficiently, especially during the vulnerable morning hours. When these foods are combined with protein at breakfast, the nerve-muscle system works together more smoothly, helping legs feel steadier and more reliable throughout the day. Morning leg weakness in adults over 60 is not something you must accept as normal aging. When you understand the real causes and apply a few simple steps right after waking, your legs can regain stability and confidence. Just 60 seconds of proper morning habits can significantly reduce fall risk and improve daily quality of life. Share your age and the country you live in. Tell us about your morning experience, and type 1 if you have ever feared leg weakness. Join the seniorspocari community to stay strong, steady, and independent every day.